In 1979, the United States government made an unprecedented move, committing $1.5 billion to rescue a single private corporation from total financial ruin. This was the largest federal bailout of a private company in American history, and the name on the brink was Chrysler. Picture Detroit in the Roaring '20s, a city fueled by ambition, its air thick with the smell of oil and hot metal, the rhythmic clang of assembly lines echoing through massive factories. This is where Walter P. Chrysler, a former railroad mechanic with an insatiable drive, forged his empire. In 1925, he acquired the struggling Maxwell Motor Company and promptly renamed it, launching the Chrysler Corporation. Chrysler's vision was clear: build innovative, well-engineered cars that the everyday American could afford. His early models, like the 1924 Chrysler 6, boasted features unheard of at their price point, including hydraulic brakes and high-compression engines. The company thrived on engineering prowess. Within just 5 years, Chrysler had become the third-largest automaker in America, launching iconic brands like Plymouth and DeSoto, and integrating Dodge into its growing portfolio. The Great Depression hit hard, but Chrysler, leaner and more agile than some rivals, adapted. They introduced innovations like floating power engine mounts, which significantly reduced vibration, and stylish airflow designs that, though initially controversial, pushed automotive aerodynamics forward. Following World War II, as America roared back to life, so did Chrysler. The company rode the wave of post-war prosperity, producing practical, robust vehicles for a booming middle class. For decades, Chrysler held its ground as a vital part of the Big Three, alongside General Motors and Ford, synonymous with American manufacturing might. Its success felt almost limitless, a testament to industrial ingenuity and aggressive marketing. But the seeds of trouble were already being sown. Years of inconsistent leadership, a lack of investment in modern facilities, and a series of ill-conceived models began to erode its competitive edge. By the late 1970s, as global oil crises slammed the American auto industry, Chrysler found itself in a death spiral, hemorrhaging money. Its cars were perceived as outdated, unreliable, and inefficient. In 1978, the company brought in a titan, a man legendary for his charisma and ruthless efficiency. Lee Iacocca, fresh from being famously fired by Henry Ford II. He walked into a nightmare, inheriting a company on the verge of bankruptcy, facing a crushing debt load and dwindling market share. The weight of tens of thousands of jobs and the future of an American icon rested squarely on his shoulders. Could he possibly turn the tide against such overwhelming odds? Now fast forward to the late 1970s. The gleaming promise of the past has faded, replaced by the grim reality of a sterile corporate boardroom in Auburn Hills, a cloud of anxiety hanging heavier than cigar smoke. This is where Lee Iacocca began his brutal, frantic fight for survival. He slashed costs, closed plants, and fired executives with a singular focus on keeping the company afloat. But it wasn't enough. By 1979, Chrysler's cash reserves were exhausted, and it faced an imminent default on its loans. Iacocca embarked on a desperate, unprecedented plea to the US government for federal loan guarantees, arguing that Chrysler was too big to fail and that its collapse would devastate the American economy. After intense debate, Congress approved the 1979 Chrysler Corporation Loan Guarantee Act, a $1.5 billion lifeline. It came with strict conditions, forcing massive concessions from unions and banks. With this reprieve, Iacocca launched the company's Hail Mary Pass, the K-Car platform. The Dodge Aries and Plymouth Reliant, introduced in 1981, were small, front-wheel drive, fuel-efficient, and affordable. Exactly what America needed. They weren't glamorous, but they were practical and sold by the hundreds of thousands, quickly generating profits. This immediate success was followed by another stroke of genius in 1983, the minivan. The Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager virtually created a new vehicle segment, dominating family transportation for decades and cementing Chrysler's reputation for innovation once more. Iacocca became a national hero, appearing in Chrysler commercials, personally selling the comeback story. By the late 1980s, Chrysler was flush with cash. It acquired American Motors Corporation, AMC, in 1987, gaining the legendary Jeep brand, a move that would prove to be one of its most valuable assets. The company posted record profits, wiping out its federal debt 7 years ahead of schedule. The bailout was a stunning success, but as the 1990s dawned, Iacocca retired, and new leadership inherited a company that, despite its incredible turnaround, harbored a deep-seated complacency. The lean years were forgotten, cost-cutting eased, and product development stagnated in some areas. The lessons of near-death began to fade, setting the stage for yet another period of instability, where the very act of survival would ironically lead to new, profound vulnerabilities. What fresh challenges awaited a company that had just clawed its way back from the abyss? Jump ahead to the dawn of the new millennium. The world is sleek and interconnected, but inside the glass towers of a reborn Chrysler, a different kind of tension simmers, the quiet unease of a company caught between two continents. In 1998, Chrysler, seemingly strong and profitable, entered into what was famously touted as a merger of equals with German automotive giant Daimler-Benz. The $36 billion deal created Daimler Chrysler, promising synergy and global dominance. But the reality was a stark power imbalance. Daimler's CEO, Jürgen Schrempp, quickly revealed it was more of a takeover, declaring Chrysler merely a division of Daimler. The cultural clash was immediate and devastating. Daimler's meticulous, engineering-driven approach clashed with Chrysler's more entrepreneurial, American style. Innovation stalled as Daimler prioritized its own brands, starving Chrysler of resources and talented engineers. Key executives, disheartened, fled. The merger of equals became a slow, painful dismantling. By 2007, Daimler, having extracted what it wanted, sold 80.1% of Chrysler to Cerberus Capital Management, a private equity firm, for a mere $7.4 billion, a fraction of its original purchase price. Chrysler was once again a distressed asset, owned by investors focused on short-term gains, not long-term automotive vision. Then came the perfect storm, the 2008 financial crisis. As credit markets froze and consumer confidence evaporated, Chrysler, already weakened by years of neglect, spiraled downwards. Its product lineup, heavily reliant on gas-guzzling SUVs and trucks, was out of sync with a market reeling from soaring fuel prices. In 2009, for the second time in its history, Chrysler declared bankruptcy. This time, it was orchestrated by the US government under President Obama, who established an auto task force to oversee its restructuring. The bailout conditions were even more severe, requiring an alliance with a foreign automaker. That partner was Fiat. Under the brilliant and relentless leadership of Sergio Marchionne, Fiat acquired a controlling stake in the bankrupt Chrysler, exchanging technology and small car platforms for access to the American market. It was a risky bet, but Marchionne saw value where others saw ruin. He revitalized Chrysler, pushing for rapid product development and operational efficiency. The two companies eventually merged to form Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, FCA. This alliance, improbable as it seemed, not only saved Chrysler, but transformed it, giving it a global reach and much-needed financial stability. This period saw a resurgence for brands like Jeep and Ram, which became powerful profit centers. But the story doesn't end there. In 2021, FCA merged with PSA Group, the French parent company of Peugeot and Citroën, to create Stellantis, the fourth largest automaker in the world. Chrysler, the original brand, now exists as a small, niche player within this enormous multinational conglomerate, primarily producing a single minivan model. Its history is a testament to incredible resilience, repeated near-death experiences, and an almost cyclical pattern of boom and bust. From independent powerhouse to bailout poster child, from German division to private equity pawn to Italian partner, and finally, a small part of a vast global empire, Chrysler's journey reveals the brutal, unforgiving nature of the modern automotive industry.